NHL fans, and welcome inside the Nepean Sportsplex Steve Eisenman Arena. You're watching Nepean Raiders hockey on Rogers TV. My name is Romano Di Franco, and I'll be your host and play-by-play man for this afternoon's tilt. Today's match is a 4 vs 6 contest featuring the Cornwall Colts and the Nepean Raiders. This is the 5th and last meeting for these two teams in the regular season. Cornwall has a 3-1 edge in this season's series. Nepean's last victory over the Colts came right here in this building back on November 9th. The Raiders come into this game off an impressive performance against the Rockland Nationals. Julian Kemp, Lucas LeBlanc, and Jack Yates each scored the goals in the third period to force overtime. In the end, it was the Nats who came away with the victory. But for the Raiders to pick up at least a point against the team that was ranked number 1 in the CJHL for the last 9 weeks shows a lot of character for this Nepean Raiders team. As for the Cornwall Colts, this is an important game as they sit in 4th place and are currently holding on to the final playoff spot in the Eiserman division. There are a few teams in the hunt for that final playoff spot, and with the season winding down, every point is an important point. However, the Colts come into this game with a 1-4 record in their last 5 games, including 3 straight losses to Kempville, Brockville, and Smiths Falls. So, yep, this is a very important game for either side. So, one player I'll be keeping an eye on for this afternoon is for the Cornwall Colts is Colby Lozon. He is one of 3 Colts with 20-plus goals this year. He's got 21 so far, along with 15 assists. That's a total of 36 points in 48 games. The Williamstown, Ontario native crossed that plateau during a home game against the Campbell 73s, and he's looking to keep up the great work. As for the Nepean Raiders, one player to be on the lookout for is Noah Bath. The former Hawkesbury Hawk has been on a tear this month, as he now has goals in 5 of the last 7 games. He's providing the secondary scoring that the Raiders need, and Bath is looking to continue his hot playmaking down the stretch. So, we'll take you to center ice for the national anthem. Hello everyone, it's a Sunday afternoon, and that means we got some exciting junior A hockey to bring you. The Cornwall Colts had made the 1-hour bus trip to the nation's capital to take on the hometown Nepean Raiders. So, Nepean is looking to come into this game playing the role of spoiler, and only time will tell. So, starting goalies, we have Colton Leon. He gets the start for the Cornwall Colts. He's 11-10 on the year with a 3.93 goals against average and an 887 save percentage. And he's 3-1-0 lifetime against the Nepean Raiders. Right. At the other end, on the ice is Katstay Brandt. We can expect a high-energy performance from the 17-year-old netminder. He is 7-18-1, and he's just 6 days away from his 18th birthday. Game is on, and it'll be a tough test for the Nepean Raiders this afternoon. So the Colts in white, Raiders in honor of Do It For Daron Day, purple. So this one goes in behind Nepean territory. Rockwell with the shot. Save made by Katstay Brandt. That is the first big test for the Belleville, Ontario native in this afternoon's game. As this one up into the near boards. Grant will goes out to play it for Conabel for Nepean. As that it's so Nepean and Cornwall will finish their line changes. So Petipa for the Raiders as he's being watched by Lyndon Lamb. And that one will be safe for now. Conabel for the Raiders, and he'll shoot this one into the ringette line for the Raiders. As this one goes over to Mason Rotondo, who's wearing number 5 instead of 27, or his usual 27, as Rayom will glove that one down. Yep, that was a pretty great chance for Mason Rotondo for the Raiders. And Rayom with an even better save. Let's take a look on that replay. And Mason Rotondo's shot with a far down, and Rayom will make that save. As this one goes up over to English, and he's wearing his number 21 instead of his usual number 44. Rotondo was forced to get back. Beliveau, as that one goes in along the far boards. Timothy Walker, as he's looking to make a play in behind the net. As the puck travels into Cornwall territory, as the Raiders will complete their line change. So this one, waiting for that one was Brody Monolith, as the Raiders will look to come back. As this is stance now for the Raiders. Stance for the Raiders as he's being watched by Adam Walker. Offside has been waved off. And that's icing. So, yep, the Nepean Raiders are looking to play the role of spoiler today against the Cornwall Colts. Well, if Cornwall wins today's game, they'll leapfrog the Navan Grads for the 7th spot in the CCHL standings. As this one goes up over to Lausanne for the Colts. Walker just would have been perfect enough play for the Colts. That one is stopped by Brant. As the Raiders will come back. And coming back was Kirsten Barbeau. As this one will lead this one up over to Wyatt Warner. Drops this one to Kuzera for the Nepean Raiders. They can make that Jackson Legault shot. That one is stopped by Rayom, and he'll hang on for the whistle. We got some pushing and shoving in behind the net. And everything will be settled down for now. How about that wonderful play by Kirsten Barbeau? Drops that one to Ryan Kingan, and Rayom will make that save. And he'll feel that one tomorrow. Colts will win the draw. Rhodes for the Colts, as this one goes into the far boards in front of the Cornwall bench. As the puck battle continues along, as the Colts will go back, and it is Fraser McDonald. He's one of the Colts stay-at-home defensemen for the team. And that one is still in Cornwall territory. Save was made by Rayom, and that one off of Grant. So, yep, both teams are playing at their best, and even Paul Flindle, he likes the play of the Nepean Raiders as the month of February winds down, and he also likes Nepean's play as the season comes down to its conclusion, which is coming up very soon. Kozira will take the face-off, and Cornwall wins it. Rotondo, as that delayed offside. Nepean forced to get back. Low zone. And he is the 5th leading goal scorer for the Colts. Kozira, what a move, shot, save made, and the rebound goes over top of the net. What a great play by Kozira, the former junior senator. LeBlanc, who scored his first goal with the Raiders against the junior senators last week, as that one remains in Cornwall territory. Nova Sad, and he's being watched by Cornwall. Matondo. Oh, that's snapping a pass to Kozira. As Maxime LeBlanc with the shot. Save made by Rayom. And the Kozira chance may be the Raiders' best in this first period. And Cornwall going out for fresh legs. And Matondo will dump this one into Cornwall territory. Nice move by Lyndon Lamb, as this one goes into Nepean territory. As this one, missing that pass, that was almost a bit of a turnover. As this one goes over to Bath for the Raiders. Glove save made by Rayom off of Bath. And that one is icing. Wow, Nepean is just really pouring on the pressure against the Colts and Mark Grady, and he's hoping to help rally his troops. And he's hoping to help Cornwall get back into the win column as soon as possible. Right, so the face-off, they'll have to reset and they'll have to do it all over again. And English will take the face-off and Cornwall wins it. And around behind the net, and doing that was Lampert. As Beliveau was thinking about going to Lamb, but that one is icing. Yep, shots on net in this early stages of the first period is 6-1. Yep, Nepean wanted to get off to a good start in the game, and yes, they have. English will go ahead and take the face-off against Lamb. English wins the face-off, missing that one wide of the net, blocker side on Rayom. Penepa with the shot, and that one gets blocked by Lamb. And Timothy Walker was tumbling down, and then he'll get back up. As Luke Lampert, he'll wait to get set up. He's looking for his team to get set up in behind the net. He'll get back up, is Lampert. Warner. You can make that Brody Munnelly. As this one goes over to Nepean territory, offside has been waved off. Drops this back to Derek Rhodes. Gauthier with the shot, and that one gets blocked by the Nepean defense. Grant for the Raiders. Drops this one, shot on, that was stopped by Rayom. Colton Rayom, he's been putting on a masterclass in this early stages of the first period. Walker to Rhodes. Rhodes. This one goes over to Caleb Gauthier and missing that pass. Yes, and offside has been waved off, and the Colts will force to get back. Just liking the action in this early stages of the first period. Stance will go back into position. Going back is Ryan Kingan for the Raiders. 0-0 is our score. Nice move by Grant. Shooting that one, misses the net. Doesn't miss by much. As this one drops over to Vida for the Colts. Vida. Over to Gauthier, the shot. Pad save made by Brandt. forcing to go get back was Novosad. Luther. And that there is going to be a penalty, and that is for boarding. Yeah, and going to the box is going to be Kirsten Barbeau. Right, so it should be worth noting that this game, it's actually going to be contested by the top, one of the top penalized teams in the league. So Cornwall is on the power play. They're fourth place in the power play in the 19.4 power play percentage. Let's take a look at what happened on that replay. Ooh, bit of a dangerous play. Although Nepean's penalty kill is in 12th place out of 12 teams, the Nepean Raiders can really use this penalty kill as practice for next year and see if they can improve on that, and see if it goes up in the standings just a bit. Novosad shoots, and that one misses the net. And he make that Luke Beliveau. Beliveau drops this back to Rockwell. Beliveau. And the Cornwall's trying to put the pressure on the Raiders. Shoots, and Brandt makes the save off of Lozone. Rockwell drops this back to Beliveau. To Lozone with the shot, and that one didn't miss by much. And Nepean's penalty killers will clear that one to Cornwall territory as part of their penalty kill. Yep, Nepean's penalty kill has been playing better lately. So 50 seconds left to go in the Cornwall power play. Rhodes. And he moves this one to Nepean territory to Lozon. Shoots! What a goal by Adam Walker! And he fires that one Walker's side of Katste Brandt. And on the power play, it is 1-0 Cornwall. Yes, let's take a look on that replay. That was what a great play by Adam Walker. What a play by Adam Walker. He makes it 1-0 Cornwall. Great pass by Warner. And it is 1-0 Cornwall Colts. So the Raiders are looking to get back in this game, see if they can do that. Drops this back to Rhodes. Rhodes, good move. And that one, that gets blocked by Lucas LeBlanc. Goes over to center ice. Good move by LeBlanc. As that one remains in Cornwall territory. Rhodes drops this one back to Brody Munnelly. Munnelly the shot, and that one, Brandt with no problems there. Stance for the Raiders. He's looking to get set up, and he does. Stance again for the Nepean Raiders. Goes over to Yates for Nepean. He's Nepean's leading goal scorer. Make that their point scorer. As that one, he fires that one wide of the net. And Rayon, he was thought about covering up, but the defense can help him out. Petipa for the Raiders. He was acquired back in December. Luther, and he'll clear this one into Nepean territory. Petipa. And Petipa again for the Raiders, and he'll clear this one into, or dump this one into Cornwall territory. Novosad, and he's being watched by Barbeau. Forcing him to go back is Owen Kingan to Petipa. Petipa, and he's being watched by Beliveau up along the far boards. They'll call this a hand pass. So 1-0 is your score for the Cornwall Colts. Nepean is looking for an answer. And there will be a face-off in Brandt's left. the Raiders will win the face-off cleanly. As this one, and is stopped by Katste Brandt. And that battle continues along the far boards. Shoots, and that one he did not miss by much. As the Nepean Raiders will look for an answer. And that one in behind the net. As this one goes over to Timothy Walker. And he'll clear this one into Nepean territory. And they're still looking for a broken stick on the ice. Anybody going to blow that whistle? Offside has been waved off. Now drops this one to Lausanne. Over to Rockwell in the near boards. And he drops this one up over to Stance. That one goes in behind the net. Stance for the Raiders drops this one to Cantrell for Nepean. He's waiting to get set up, and he does. As this one goes over to Munnelly for the Raiders. I think that for the Colts. Stance drops this one to Kozira. As this one, he'll move this one over to, making that one was Walker, and that one, make that Alex Brown, and that's an offside. Right, so 7:02 left to go in this first period. Cornwall has a 1-0 lead. And Nepean is looking to tie it. And let's see if they do. As Cornwall will win the face-off. No redo on that one. As this one drops this back to Fraser McDonald. And he'll dump this one to Cornwall territory. Shot, and that one is stopped by Katste Brandt. Yep, Brandt has been playing well for the Nepean Raiders in this first period. And he stopped 5 of the 6 shots he faced in that first period. As the Raiders will win the face-off. And as the puck battle continues in the near boards, Wyatt Warner, can make that Derek Rhodes for the Colts. Rhodes with the shot, and that one misses wide of the net. As the Nepean Raiders will look to reset here. Petipa over to Noah Bath. And he drops this one as an offside has been waved off to Yates, and he's being watched by Caleb Gauthier. Yates is looking for a play, and Petipa, he gets stripped from that puck as that goes over to the Nepean territory. As Petipa, he'll look for someone to pass to, and he does. Missing that pass was Yates. In behind the net, as this one moves over to Alex Brown for the Colts. The offside has been waved off. Nintendo for the Raiders. As he moves this one over to make that Murtando. Murtando almost gets stripped from that puck by Luther. As this one goes in behind the net. Going that was Jack Kent for the Colts. Kent. As moves over to Lamb for the Colts. And he'll clear this one into Cornwall territory. Leon, he's going to go out to play it for Novosad. Good pass onto Vida for the Colts. Shoots. And that one is glove save made by Brand off of Luc Beliveau. Yes. how about that glove of leather made from Brandt? As there will be a face-off to his left. It was supposed to be right, but how about that save made by Luc Beliveau? How about that save by Brandt off of Luc Beliveau? Yes, it is one of the best saves that he had to make in that first period. As this one goes over to Legault for the Raiders, Lamb for Cornwall. Snapping that, he was going to snap that one to Timothy Walker. And as Beliveau's shot is stopped by Brandt using his pads. Legault, good move. And he was going to finish, he wasn't going to finish that pass, was Ryan Kingan, but no sir. Munnelly, drops this one to Vida for Cornwall. Beliveau, as he'll reset with Lampert. Making a move. And going back is King in the shot. That one is blocked by Leon. Turnover to the Colts. What a move by the Nepean Raiders. And that one scores! Jackson Legault. One times this off of Colton Leon. And as a result of that, it is tied at 1. Let's take a look at what happened on that replay, shall we? That was a great move by Ryan Kingan. Goes over to Legault, and he was able to finish the job. Yes, and Leon had no chance. So this one goes over to Bath. Petitpas with the shot. That one is stopped by Rayon. Sprawling down, and Rayon, he was able to make the save. Whoa, that just would have been another goal for the Raiders. But he'll hang on. 3:24 left to go in this first period, and the Nepean Raiders with a great response. Colts will win the draw, as this one goes up over to McQuaig for the Colts. McQuaig with the shot, shoots over top of the net. Lozon, and he'll drops this one to Gauthier. Gauthier, a race for it is McQuaig, and Brandt Hill goes out to play it for Petitpas for the Raiders. And drops this back to Rockwell. To Novicek, to Gauthier. As Brandt Hill goes out to play it for Petitpas. Petitpas, he's waiting for his teammates to get set up. And yes, he does. And he'll send this one to Retondo. He's waiting for his teammates to get set up. And he's still waiting in behind the net. As LeBlanc now for the Raiders. LeBlanc shoots this one, and that one is stopped by Rayon, and he'll cover up. That was a good move by LeBlanc. Yes. And there'll be a face-off to Rayon's right, and how about that opportunity by LeBlanc? He was able to steer that one behind Rayon, and he'll make that save. Goes over to Retondo. Grabs this back to Maxime LeBlanc. Knoble. And he gets drilled into the ice by Novosad, and there is going to be a penalty on the play. Yes, and the Cornwall Colts, they are not going to be too happy about that, and it is getting the gate is going to be Chancey Novosad. Now let's see how all that unfolded. Oh yes, Knoble, he wasn't even anywhere near the puck, so that's interference. So yeah, Cornwall had a chance on the power play, and now it's Nepean's turn. As this one goes over to Petipa. As Nepean Raiders shoots. That one is stopped by Rayon, in which Nepean's power play is 6, and it's tied for the Ottawa Junior Senators for 5th place with a 19.2 power play percentage. As with 1:35 left to go in this Nepean Raiders power play, Cornwall's PK is at 10th place in the CCHL standings. That could make a big difference. Yates for the Raiders, and he's being watched by Lampert. Yates offs this back to Petipa. To Yates. What a move! Shoots! Oh man, that one was off. Pretty sure he meant well. Petipa for Nepean. To Yates. As the power play winds down to its conclusion. Petipa with the shot, and that one is a pad save made by Rayon. Where is it? Oh, that one was out of play. So, yep, 49 seconds left to go in the Raiders power play, and as if Nepean's power play expires, then the first period would expire too. So the face-off to Rayon's right, as Knoble will win the face-off. Rotondo slowly makes this way to Yates. Rotondo again. Rotondo shoots. That one, that was a juicy rebound for Grant, and he was not ready for that one. To LeBlanc. A weak shot by Rotondo. As this one goes over to Walker. As it goes over to Knoble. Rotondo now for the Raiders. Nepean is hoping to get ahead as the first period comes to its winds down near the end. As this one, as time will expire. Right, so what a great first period by the Nepean Raiders. So, yep, the score is tied 1-1. Let's have a chat on what I thought about the game so far. Yet the Nepean Raiders, well, they had themselves a very good first period. Well, they had an earlier chance by Ben Kozira. Yeah, and that just would have helped the Nepean Raiders open the scoring. Yes, and I also liked how Nepean poured on the pressure on the Cornwall Colts. Yes, Nepean said before the game they want to get off to a good start, and yes, they certainly have. And with this being a very special day in honor of the Do It For Daron Day, I'm very certain to say that the Nepean Raiders fans are enjoying the game. And not only that, but they're also enjoying the hard work that the Nepean Raiders have put on. Yes, and that we just saw that in that first period. And also, Paul Flindle, he's really helped the Nepean Raiders get off to a really good start in the game. And yes, they've had. And I also like his efforts to help Nepean get into the competing for the action for most of this game. All right. Okay, so let's get into our first period scoring summary, shall we? So Adam Walker with his 12th goal of the season, assisted from Wyatt Warner and Derek Rhodes. That was at 9:02 of the first period. But then in the end, it was Jackson Legault. He was able to answer for the Nepean Raiders, and that one was assisted from Ryan Kinghan. Yes, that was a great way to end off that first period. All right, so let's take a look That was on a great pass by Wyatt Warner and Adam Walker. He was able to finish that job for the Cornwall Colts. That one was his 12th of the season, but the lead would be short-lived as it was Ryan King on a great pass from Jackson Legault. He was able to finish that job, and as a result, he's helped the Nepean Raiders tie the game at 1. That's a great way to end off that first period for the Nepean Raiders. They really needed that moving forward. That's exactly where it is we stand as of now. And let's take a look. Let's talk about the top 5 Raiders. Okay, so never mind that. So let's have a look at some of the recent Raiders games and present to you the goals of the week.
LeBlanc, Connabel, and Kozira. Loose top, intercepted by Kozira on the stop, backhand pass, a shot, and they score! Ben Kozira gets his second as a Raider, and they are officially on the board. Puck protection, finds him out of the point, a shot through traffic is wide of the goal. LeBlanc takes another chance, he scores! His first as a Raider, Max LeBlanc has got the Raiders on the board. It's their first goal in 8 periods. In the corner at the blue line, goes across for Petipa, then another cross ice feed, this time Connabel up high, tip in front, Bertrand gets the rebound and scores! Anthony Bertrand, he'll get the Raiders' second of the game.
Cross center, but no further. Noah back. In front, all alone, backhand, they score! Nice feed by Noah Bath. And a backhander, top corner by Jack Yates. Takes that pass across, coming after Lucas LeBlanc. LeBlanc, nice move around Morales. LeBlanc in, takes a shot, and they score! Lucas LeBlanc does it all himself, and he ties this game up at 1.
After 20 minutes, it's the Raiders 1 and the Cornwall Colts 1. Don't go away. We'll be back with period 2 action after this short break. Welcome back inside the Nepean Sportsplex Steve Eiserman Arena for today's game that features the Cornwall Colts and the Nepean Raiders. Right, so my name is Romano Di Franco. So the Nepean Raiders, they were down 1-0, but the good news is, on the strength of Jackson Legault's goal, Nepean tied the game at 1-1, and they're looking to keep up the great work that was shown the first period, as second period is all set to go. And the second period starts with Rayon making the save. And that was just 8 seconds into the second period, as I should say. And the face-off was won by the Colts. As this one goes over to Rockwell for the Colts. And going back briefly was Camden McQuaig for the Colts. Low zone. And this one moves over to Mason. Make that Lucas LeBlanc. LeBlanc, and he's now in the near boards. To Kozira. Had a great chance for the Nepean Raiders in this early half of the first period. As that one is blocked. Lazone. And he roughs this one to Fraser McDonald. LeBlanc now for the Raiders. And he'll snapping a pass to English. English. And waits in. As with 18, so a minute in, and the Raiders and the Colts are tied at 1-1. Right, so referees in this... Oh, sorry about that. I guess I'm going to do that too quickly. Right, so there will be a face-off in front of the near boards blue line, as the Nepean Raiders will win the face-off. Novosad, and he's being watched by Noah Bath, as he'll get back up. As this one goes over to Kent for the Colts. As the puck battle continues into the near boards. As Lamb now for the Colts. This is Lamb. And as he's being watched by Rotondo behind the net. Bath for the Nepean Raiders. And he drops this one over to English. Yes, that's part of Nepean's top line today. Shoots, and that one he didn't miss by much. And missing that one was Lampert. As shoots, and that one was a save made by Brand off of Munnelly. As the puck battle continues in the near boards. And there is going to be a penalty on the play. Yes, we got some pushing and shoving in the far boards. Yes, and that the mini scrum continues. How about, let's see how that all started. Yes, that started in that battle in the far boards, and eventually it was Ryan English who received the initial penalty, but I guess sitting in the box for Cornwall will be Timothy Walker. Yes, and Cornwall, they just would have been on the power play. Right, and the referees will go ahead and see if they can figure this all out. All right, so it'll be just a penalty for the Raiders. So their penalty kill gets back to work. So the Colts will win the face-off and see if they can go 2 for 2. And Nepean's going to look to stop Cornwall's power play from expanding. As Guillaume, he's going to go out to play it for Beliveau for the Colts. And snap pass. And missing that one briefly was McQuaig. So the Raiders will clear that one to Cornwall territory as part of their penalty kill. So 1:22 left to go in this second period. The Nepean Raiders are doing a good job on the penalty kill. As this one goes over to Beliveau. Beliveau to Lamb. Lamb with the shot, and that one gets blocked. Blocking that one was Ryan Kingham. Lamb over to McQuaig. Beliveau, and that one with the shot on, and he did not miss by much. Missing that one was McQuaig. I'm pretty sure he would like to have another crack at it. As Guillaume's going to go out to play for Beliveau. As this one goes with 35 seconds left to go in Cornwall's man advantage. Adam Walker, he's waiting for his team to get set up. Walker, he's being watched by McKee for the Raiders. And missing that pass briefly was Derek Rhodes. And he'll drop this one to LeBlanc for the Raiders. Goes over to Warner. He assisted on Walker's goal. Offside waved off. What a move by Bat to Yates. What a save made by Rayome. Man, Jack Yates, he's one of the leading scorers for the Raiders. And all he could do is shake his head. Offside waved off. Pennypaw. And moves this one to Konabo, and he's being watched by Adam Walker. Konabo, as that one's an offside at the blue line. But man, oh man, what a chance for the Nepean Raiders. How about that great opportunity by Jack Yates? Bath displaying a sweet pass by Yates, and Rayon just slammed the door shut. And all Yates can do is shake his head. I don't believe it. Matondo, and he sends this one to Kelnabel. Back over to center ice. This one goes over to Brown for the Colts. And this is Kozira for the Raiders. Nepean acquired him in trade with the Junior Sanders just last month. Offside waved off, and that one whistled wide of the net. Yep, Nepean is putting on a clinic in this early half of the second period, like the first. LeBlanc now for the Raiders, as he drops this one to Petipa. And they make that Kozira for the Raiders. Kozira, shot, and Rayon with the save. Ben Kozira tried to bank one in off of Rayon, but all he could do was just hang on into the to the net. Oh, the Raiders. How about that opportunity from Ben Kozira being held by Nash Luther, and Kozira tried to bank one in off of Colton Rayon. All he could do was hang on to the goalpost. And Nepean with two great chances. And now this is Luke Beliveau, and he goes over to Timothy Walker with the shot. Save made by Brand. And some goalies are making these sequence of saves. Have no idea how it's possible. As this one goes over to Walker for the Raiders. I'll make that for the Colts. Watch center ice. As this one goes over to Beliveau. Beliveau, what a move. Save made by Katste Brandt. As his stick is in behind the net, and he wants the play to whistle dead as soon as possible. That way he can retrieve his stick, and he does now. As this one goes over to LeBlanc for the Raiders. He drops this one to Kinghan. That one gets blocked. And going back briefly was Lozone for the Colts. What a move by Kemp for the Raiders. Make that stance. As we get to hear some, as the bench was pumped up for a brief moment. Petipa, as he has to watch out Luke Lampert for the Colts. As this one was over to McQuaig. And sweeping it to safety was Grant for the Raiders. McQuaig for the Colts. Konable, and he's in behind the net, waiting for his teammates to get set up. Yes, and he does. Konable, and he'll clear this one into Cornwall territory. Drilling him was McKee for make that Julian Kemp for the Raiders. As Grant will hold on. And it's still 1-1. It's anybody's game up to this point. Yep. And this game is anything you want. And how about that opportunity from Kobe Lozone, as Brandt will glove that one down. Yes, Lozone, he's one of the Colts leading scorers. He's in the top 5. As the Raiders will win the draw. As this one goes over to Rotondo for the Nepean. And Moves this one over to Yates. He missed that pass. Rhodes over to Wyatt Warner, who assisted on the Adam Walker goal. Rotondo for the Raiders. And Nepean is looking to snap the tie, see if they can do that. Yates. And this one, he's being in by Adam Walker. Jack Kent now for the Colts. Kent, shot. That one, it's knocked down. And that one goes over to Yates. Up over to Bath. And he's being squeezed by Rhodes, and he gets taken down. Rhodes. And drops this one to Kent. As offside, on a delayed offside, Cornwall's forced to get back. And a good move by Cantrell for the Raiders. Cantrell to Conabel. As this one goes in behind the net, going there is Luther for the Colts. As the puck battle continues, it goes right into the near boards to LeBlanc. And LeBlanc, and going back in was Kozira, as icing has been waved off. As this one goes over to Stantz for the Raiders. Drops this to Cantrell. Back to Stantz. And behind the net. And he has the Raiders set up. And this one goes over to Kozira for the Raiders. And make that Conabel. As Brown for the Colts. Brown slowly makes his way in. Missing that pass, and having that now was Monley, and that one gets gloved down by Brandt. He'll hang on with 9:36 left to go in the second period. And 1-1 is our score. It's been a goalies duel up to this point. Yes, how about that wonderful opportunity by Walker, and he gloves that one down. Brandt making that save off of Brody Munnelly. As Cornwall will win the face-off. Shoots, and Belleville misses the net. Lampert. As that puck battle continues in the near boards in the Nepean territory, Brandt will make the save. As this one. And there is going to be a tripping minor on the play. And that one's going to be a Nepean penalty to Owen Kingan. And I don't know. And oh yeah, you can make that read Petitpas. He trips up his man. Yes, and Petitpas is not so pleased with the call. Right, so Nepean is penalty kill is 1 for 2. And Cornwall's, as does Cornwall's power play. They are 1 for 2 as well. Shoots, and Cut-State Brandt got a piece of that one with his glove off of Luke Lampert. Yes, and Brandt was forced to make a wonderful save. 7 seconds into Cornwall's power play. As this one goes over to Lauzon. Lauzon, he's being held up. Lampert. And he drops this one to Lauzon again. Rotondo. He tried to clear that one, but that one is intercepted. Rockwell, as he'll moves this one up ice. Lamb with the shot, and he scores! What a goal by Lyndon Lamb. And we do have some rough stuff going on after the goal. But still, nonetheless, the Cornwall Colts have the lead again on the power play. Let's see how that transpired. So Lyndon Lamb, he was able to roof that one in behind Cuts Dave Brandt. And yet he did not have a prayer on that one, as Lamb got taken down on the strength of that goal. But the Cornwall Colts have a lead again at 2-1. And the Raiders have called a bit of a timeout here. And Paul Flindell is trying to get his players to settle down a bit. Right, so everything will be all set to go, and we got some 4-on-4 hockey to skate for a little bit. So Lyndon Lamb with the goal, and it is 2-1. Rockwell, as he looks, just barely avoiding that hit from Kemp. As this one goes over to Rockwell, and it goes over to Camden McQuaid, and that one's an offside at the blue line. Is Caleb Gauthier. Yes, and Caleb Gauthier, he doesn't like the offside call, but nonetheless, there'll be a face-off at the near boards blue line. So Konabel will take the face-off against Wyatt Warner, and Konabel will win the face-off stance for the Raiders. He's looking to, hoping to get set. And in that one is, there is going to be a penalty to Cornwall as a result of the trip. Yes, so with 1:19 left to go in the 4-on-4s, there's going to be a 4-on-3 power play for the Raiders. Yes, and going into the box is Wyatt Warner. Yes, and that was all Wyatt Warner was trying to do. He was trying to strip the Raiders from that puck, but just got unlucky. Yeah. So this will give the Raiders a chance on the 4-on-3 power play. See if it strikes. And so the Raiders will win the face-off. Yeah, Mark Grady, and he's not very happy about the call. So this is a turnover. And that one goes in behind Mason Rotondo. Rotondo to Kemp. Kemp drops this back to Rotondo again. And on a failed clear, and that one successfully makes it to Nepean territory, as the Colts will get some fresh legs. As this one goes over to LeBlanc for the Raiders. LeBlanc, good move. LeBlanc to Mason Rotondo. Rotondo to Petipa. Petipa, he waits in, shoots, missing that cage was LeBlanc. Sure, he would like to have another crack at it, you know. It's Lucas LeBlanc now for the Raiders. Drops this back to Mason Rotondo. As the 4-on-4 will expire, all that's left to do is the 5-on-4 for the Raiders. On the power play, that is. Yates with the shot, and that one is stopped by Rayon. Shoots again, and that one is stopped. Rebound! And the net goes off its place, but what a save made by Colton Rayon. Yes. And how about that opportunity on that power play opportunity, as Rayon, he was able to make that save before the net came out of its position. Yes, as the Raiders will win the face-off. As this one goes over to Pettipaw. Pettipaw to Yates. And he drops this one back over to Kemp for the Raiders. Shoots, and that one is blocked, rebound, and that one goes up and out of play. Yep. Great opportunity for the Raiders to tie this game at 2. But they're still having a great time on Do It For Daron Day. As the face-off has been won by the Raiders. And an offside as Owen Kingan doesn't like the call. Yeah, with 1 second left to go in their power play. As Nepean wins that face-off. As this one goes over Nepean territory. So Nepean is 0 for 2 on the man advantage as the penalty expires. Kemp. And trying to clear that one on the failed one is Gauthier. As this one goes over to Kemp for the Raiders. To Kingan for the Raiders. Owen Kingan fires and that one deflected just wide. And that one goes missing. That one left side was Lyon. Warner over to Rhodes. Rhodes drops this back to Warner. The shot, and that one is stopped by Brandt. Yep, it's anyone's game. Shoots. That one gets blocked by. Blocking that one was Stance. Or he can make this Grant Cooper. As this one goes over to Stance for the Raiders. Stance goes missing. That one was Owen Kingan. Pretty sure he would like to have another chance at it. Rowan Cantrell as he waits for, looks for somebody to pass to. And high pass was Vida for the Colts. Going back is Alex Brown, and he's looking for someone to pass to, and he does. Missing that pass was Joe Vida, and that's icing. Yep. Yep, and 4:16 left to go in this second period. 2-1 for the Colts. Man, how about that save made by Brand? And oh yes, how about that opportunity by Mac McKee to Kingan? Yes. Yes, both goalies have been there at their best. Yes. It's been an even Steven game. Cantrell, as he'll put this one into Cornwall territory. As this one goes over to make that Luther for the Colts. Cantrell for the Raiders in behind the net. And he's waiting for, and he's looking for somebody to snap a pass to. And he'll go on his own. As this one goes over to Kingham for the Raiders. And make that Jackson Legault. That's the lone goal scorer for the Raiders. Cantrell. And that one is gloved down by Rayon. So shots on net are 19-8 in favor of the Cornwall Colts. It is 2-1. Nepean is looking to tie the game like they did late in that first period. Only time will tell if they can do that. So there will be a face-off to Vayon's right, and LeBlanc wins the face-off. That one goes over to Kozira. Kosira, the shot, he missed the net. As this one, it'll go over to Rotondo for Nepean. Going back briefly was Luther for the Colts. What a move by Lozon. Lozon with the shot. Blocker save made by Cotte Brant. And this is Kosira 2-on-1. LeBlanc, what a save made by Colton Rayom, and the rebound, they score! Tristan Conabel was able to fire that one in behind Colton Rayom. And this happened following a 2-on-1 from Kosira and LeBlanc. But in the end, it is Knoble who was able to help Nepean get an answer. Yes, that play started on the wonderful 2-on-1 rush. Rayom made the save, but he couldn't control the rebound from Knoble. I cannot believe my eyes. Highlight of the afternoon. And yep, and as a result of that, the game is tied at 2-2. As this one, he goes over to Cornwall territory. It's Fraser McDonald. And he'll drops this one back over to Timothy Walker. McDonald again for the Colts, as almost a giveaway by Lamb. As this one, it goes in behind the net, and McDonald shoots, and that one missed the net, didn't miss by much. Goes at center ice. It is Kosira now. Make that Ryan English for the Raiders. Drops this one to Knoble. Make that English for the Raiders. And he's being held up by Lamb. As this one drops this one to Walker. Walker shoots. And that one, this one goes over to Beliveau for the Colts. Shots on net are even at 20 apiece. And yet, it is anybody's game. As this one goes over to Kinghan. Offside's been waved off, and that one will whistle up and out of play. Man, what a great opportunity by Owen Kinghan to get on the score sheet like Ryan. But all he could do is shake his head. So the face-off into Rayom's right. And McKee will win the face-off. Blocker save made by Rayom. As this one goes over to Kent for the Colts. Kent. And he'll drop this one to Warner with the shot. Save made by Brant. As that one goes over to the Cornwall zone. What a great save made by Brant, though. Warner for the Colts. Next goal could be a big one, as Brant will glove this one down. And he'll hang on with 48.2 seconds left to go. And it's tied 2-2. Right, so the Raiders and the Colts, they'll take their opportunity to finish their line change in order to kickstart that face-off. English, he'll take the face-off against McQuaig, and McQuaig will win the face-off. Shoots, and big pad save made by Brant. And English just barely avoiding that hit. Lampert, as his shot gets blocked by Julian Kemp. Offside been waved off. What a move by English! And he misses the net. low zone for the Colts. Low zone shot, and that one is blocked. And low zone, he'll wait. And there is going to be a penalty call coming up. And it is going to Cornwall. Oh, is it going to Cornwall or Nepean? Now let's see what happens there. Oh yes, Ryan English. He will get the gate for boarding Kobe low zone. Yes, and the Colts will go back to the power play, which has been very good. And they're 2 for 3. And let's see if the Nepean Raiders can kill off that power play. But remember, when the Raiders kill off this part of the power play, they'll still be shorthanded, keep in mind. As the Raiders will win the face-off. See what happens shorthanded. Camp, as that one just ending that threat. As time winds down to its conclusion. Right, so we're just gonna have to wait and see if they can get things all sorted out before I chat. Right, so everything will get settled down for now, as the Colts will go off to their dressing room, and we're waiting to see what happens there. Okay, so everything is all settled. Let's have a chat. All right, so the Nepean Raiders, they had, just like the first period, they had themselves a solid second period. Again, they were down in that second period, but they rallied. But the Nepean Raiders, they refused to go down without a fight. And yes, they had some great scoring chances early in the second period, just like the first period. Yes, as Jack Yates, who is the Raiders' leading scorer for the Raiders. Yes, he had that one right at the net. Okay, let's put in the second period scoring summary, shall we? Okay, so Joe Vida, he's got his second goal of the season, now on the power play, assisted from Camden McQuaid at 11:21, and with 17:14 left to go in the second period, just as when we were about to go into the second period intermission, Tristan Knoble with his 7th goal of the season. That came on an assist from Lucas LeBlanc and Ben Kozira, who came rushing in on a 2-on-1. But in the end, it was the Nepean Raiders who really set the tone. Although they were outshot 8-4, Nepean was at their best. Let's take a look at that, what happened that second period, shall we? Okay, so Lyndon Lamb with the goal. So Lamb scores to make it a 2-1 game for Cornwall. And how about that rush on a 2-on-1? Rayon made the save, but he couldn't control the Knoble rebounds. Yes, and that's exactly where we stand. As a result of that, that's how it was a 2-2 game. Yes, it has been an even Steven game up to this point. Okay, fans, we would like to take a moment during today's game to recognize a cause that's bigger than hockey. The Nepean Raiders are proud to support Do It For Daron and the Power to the Purple campaign, raising awareness and funds for youth mental health right here in our community. Mental health affects us all, our teammates, our friends, and our families. By wearing purple and showing your support today, you're helping break the stigma and encouraging young people to speak up and seek help when they need it. If you'd like to contribute or learn more, you can visit DIFD.com, and together we can make a difference on the ice and beyond. All right, so after 2 periods of play, it is the Cornwall Colts 2 and the Nepean Raiders 2. Don't go away. We'll be back with period 3 action after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, inside the Nepean Sportsplex, Steve Eiserman Arena, where today's game features the Cornwall Colts and the Nepean Raiders. My name is Romano Di Franco, so pleased to have all of you on the ride. So it is 2-2. Lyndon Lamb, he scored the Cornwall Colts goal in the second, and then the Raiders responded on a goal by Knoble, his 7th of the season. The Raiders, they still have a minute 46 to go in the penalty to English. So as the Colts and the Raiders will tap their sticks to make some noise, and we are underway in this third period. Hopefully it still goes on at the very least. As this one goes over to Nepean territory, as Petipa that clear gets blocked by Lozone. As this one goes over to McQuaig for the Colts. And missing that pass was Lamb. He's one of the Colts' goal scorers in today's game. Beliveau to Lozone. Shoots, and missing that one was Lamb. Beliveau drops this back to Kobe Lozone. Back to Rockwell. So 52 seconds left to go in the penalty to English. And so the Raiders just dodged a bullet. This one is Noah Bath, and his rush gets blocked. Bath, and he'll clear this one into Cornwall territory, out in behind the net. 30 seconds left to go in the Cornwall power play, as this one goes over to Walker. And he drops this one to Maxime Leblanc. So Cornwall has time for only this rush, as that one misses the net. Just cleanly on the shot. Warner will reset for the Cornwall Colts, as Cornwall's power play is done. So the Nepean Raiders PK comes through for them. Warner, as he'll block this one up to LeBlanc. As this one, he'll goes over to Cornwall territory. Offside has been waved off. As this one goes over to Kinghan. As Brandhill misses that one, he'll make the save and he'll hang on. Right, so you've heard from the PA announcer and Sean Lloyd about the Nepean Raiders' next home game, which is coming up very soon, as the Raiders will win the face-off. As Kent, he'll sends this one to Luther for the Colts. Offside has been waved off. Over to Cantrell. Missing that pass barely was Rowan Cantrell. As this one goes over to Conabell for the Raiders, as they all go tumbling one-on-one with him and Chancey Novosad. And Novosad is slowly making his way to the bench. Kozira drops this one back to Conabell. This one will go over to Luther for the Colts. And offside has been waved off again with the tumbles, but they'll be okay. Petipa for the Raiders, and he's being watched. He'll dump this one in, but the play whistle's dead. So yep, it's anybody's game. And that goes to prove that this game is anything you want. Also remember to Remember, for highlights of today's game, remember to go on the Nepean Raiders website as well as their official YouTube channel. As Mark Grady's going to be discussing things. And he wants to rally his troops just like Paul Flynn know. I guess you know the rest of the game is going to tell how raucous things are going to be. And so Petipa, he'll discuss things with the referee, and as does Adam Walker. Not sure what the fuss is all about. Yes, and we wait for play to resume shortly. All right, while all things are being sorted out, let's go ahead and discuss what has happened up to this point. The Raiders and the Colts they've tied each period. So Adam Walker and Lyndon Lamb with the goals for Cornwall, and Conabel and Jackson Legol with the goals for the Raiders. Yep. That's exactly where as we stand as of right now. It is 2-2. Shots on net are 25-22 in favor of the Colts. Face-off has been won by the Colts and goes all the way into Nepean net for icing. So yeah, I guess the Colts will be forced to do it all again, I guess. Right, so there will be a face-off to Rayom's right. As this one, Raiders win the face-off, and a pad save made by Rayom. Timothy Walker grabs this one to Brody Munnelly for the Colts. Munnelly, and he'll go center ice into Lamb. And this will force the Colts to reset. Munnelly for the Colts. And missing that pass was Beliveau. Sure, he meant well. Offside has been waved off. As this one goes over to Beliveau, goes over to Walker for the Colts. Walker in behind the net. Lamb shoots, and that one did not miss by much. Beliveau, and he'll drops this one over to Barbeau for the Raiders. Yates with the shot, and that one is stopped by Rayom. Ratondo, and missing the net. Yates, as he goes into the far boards with McDonald. Offside has been waved off again. Ratondo drops this back to Cantrell for the Raiders. So yep, so 15 minutes left to go in the third period, and it's 2-2. Anybody's game. Missing his stick and wanting a new one is Rhodes, and he gets one here. And Rayom, he'll hang on. Yes. And the Raiders are catching up on the shot board. Right, so there will be a draw into his left. And yes, how about that opportunity by, it was Barbeau, and Rayom, he was still able to make that save, stretching down his pad and making the save. Yes. As this one goes, and here's Rockwell. As an offside had been waved off, it was over to Lausanne, over to McDonald for the Colts. As this one, he'll steer one aside to Lausanne. As that one goes into the near boards. Rockwell for the Colts. And this one goes over to Conabel. Back to low zone for the Colts. And he wanted an interference call, but he doesn't get one here. And that one gets blocked by LeBlanc. LeBlanc, he goes in with Conabel. Offside has been waved off. Conabel, and he'll goes this one to Petipa for the Raiders. Petipa with the shot, and that one is stopped by Rayom. Yes. Rayom and Brandt have been the difference in this game. I'm very certain to say that. Let's take a look on that replay. And Petipa, he was able to have his shot squeezed in by Rayom. And he'll hang on. Colts will win the face-off. Icing has been canceled. As this one goes over to Adam Walker. Walker shoots, and that one is stopped by Brandt. As Petipa, he'll clear this one to Cornwall territory. Icing has been nullified. As that one goes into Nepean territory as this time it will be icing. So, yep. So we're a third of the way done in this third period, and we're ashamed to say it's over, and hopefully it's not. Face off to Rayom's right. As Rayom will make the save, and he'll hang on. 13-18 left to go in this third period. So, yep, the Nepean Raiders have done a good job on their PK today. Yes, and they've also done a good job on the pressure. So, English will be taking the draw against Lyndon Lamb. Nepean wins the face-off, and that one is blocked. And this one goes over to Yates. Drops this back to Bath, and that rush it gets nullified. Goes over to Gauthier, and he'll clear that one to Nepean territory. As this one goes over to Bath. Over to LeBlanc now for the Raiders. As this one, you can make that Bath for Nepean. Rotondo shoots, and that one deflected off the goalpost. Wow. If that had enough velocity, that would have just been enough to help Nepean get their first lead of the game. Yep. As this one goes over to Walker. Back to Lamb. Beliveau. That play gets blocked. This stance now for the Raiders. Drops this back to Cooper Grant. Drops a turnover, shoots, and that one did not miss by much. Kemp, and as he gets hauled down, being hauled was stance for the Raiders, and no penalty was called on the play. The Nepean wanted that. McKee for the Raiders as he drops this one over to McDonald. A turnover by McDonald. Here's Grant with the shot, and that one, Rayom may have got a piece of that one. Well, you know, turnovers often create a goal against, but Rayom, he was able to steer that aside with his blocker, and there is going to be a penalty coming up, and that's for slashing. And it is going to go to Nepean, and going in to the box is Cooper Grant. Mind you, he had a wonderful opportunity on that Fraser McDonald turnover. So the Raiders PK gets back to work. It's been doing a good job in the course of this game. So let's see how the Raiders do on the PK this time. They did a great job of killing one in the early stages of the third period and towards the end of the second period too. Lamb drops this one to McDonald for the Colts. Or you can make that Luke Beliveau for the Colts. Beliveau drops this one to Warner for the Colts. Warner to Rockwell with the shot. Goes into the side. And going in was Camden McQuaig. Drops this back to Beliveau. To Rockwell. Drops this back to Beliveau. Drills one, and that one misses the net. As Cornwall is trying to pull on the pressure, and that puck goes into Cornwall territory. As Rayom, he'll pass this one over to McQuaig. McQuaig waits in. As offside has been waved off. As this one goes over to Mason Rotondo. And here's Julian Camden on goal. What a save made by Colton Rayom! Man, Colton Rayom has been the difference in this game, just like Brandt. As the puck battle, as this one goes over to Walker, as Kemp gets back in. I still can't believe about that opportunity by Julian Kemp. Just would have been a shorty for the Raiders. McDonald. And goes in over to Walker. Adam Walker goes over to Rhodes. McDonald the shot, and that one is stopped by Brandt as Nepean's penalty kill is over, and they come through. As this one goes over to Rhodes, as he's being watched by Stance for the Raiders. Adam Rhodes with the shot, and that one is stopped by Brandt. What an exciting game this is going to be down the stretch. As Knoble, as McDonald will clear that one at center ice. Cantrell, as Nepean's looking to reset of their own. Cantrell slowly waits in. Knoble with the shot, save made by Rayom. If that just had enough velocity, that would have gone in. Yep, I guess it's Nepean's turn to pour on the pressure for the Cornwall Colts. He just may not know it. Stance, as this one goes over to Pettipaw for the Raiders. Pettipaw shoots, glove save made by Rayom. Yep, I don't know how Pettipaw misses that one. He was like, man, how did I miss that one? All Rayom can do, he could just close the door on that one. Let's take a look on that replay. Yes, and Pettipaw with that shot, and that one gets gloved down by Rayom. As the Raiders will win the draw. As this one goes over to Yates. Yates, as he's being watched by Caleb Gauthier. On a move by Bath. As Rayom was really lucky to go back. As Brandt, he'll cover up and he'll make the save. Shots on net are 28 apiece. Right, and there'll be a face-off to his right. So, yep, it's now time for Chapter 32 in the game books, and the next goal could be a big one. As this one goes over to Yates. Go over to Bath. Bath shoots, and that one gets blocked by the Cornwall defense. Rebound, and wow, and the Cornwall net gets dislodged. Yep, just like what happened in that second period. And the referees will fix the net. How about that opportunity by Bath? And then his shot gets blocked by the defense, only to have their net shoved off. Yep. Highlight reel opportunities for the Raiders. As this one goes over to Nitondo. And that one gets gloved down a little bit. As this one goes over to Lozon for the Colts. Lozon shoots, and he whistled wide of the net. Lozon back to Munnelly for the Colts. And he'll drop this one to Rockwell for the Colts. And he drops this one over to Walker. Rockwell, what a move. That one is stopped by Brandt. And the Colts won a power play on their own as the Colts, or the Raiders must have dodged a bullet. And falling down was Rockwell. That's icing. .6:35 left to go in the third period. Shots on net are 29 apiece. Rayom and Brandt have been at their best at this game. All right, so the face-off to Rayom's left. And Cornwall wins the face-off. High pass was Stance. Man, how many times have we had to see that, you know? Consecutive icing calls. We just don't know it. So I guess we'll have to do it all over again. Right, so there will be a face-off to Rayom's right. As we'll see what happens on that draw. LeBlanc takes the face-off against Colby Lozone, and LeBlanc wins it for the Raiders. And a good crowd on this Do It For Daron game. As this one goes over to Conable. To Stance. Stance with the shot, and that one, it's blocked. As that battle continues. Walker goes over to Camden McQuaig. McQuaig with the shot, and that one did not miss by much. LeBlanc to Kozira. LeBlanc again for the Raiders. As an offside has been waved off. This one will go back in behind the net for the Cornwall Colts. Walker passes this one over to Warner for the Colts. Warner, and that he wasn't ready for that one, was Rhodes. And here's Bath going in on goal. He shoots. Pat save made by Rayom. Whoa. I don't believe it. Noah Bath, he was looking for his 6th goal in the last 8 games. But Rayom makes an even better save. As this one goes over to Bath again for the Raiders. As icing has been waved off. Bath goes over to Yates. Almost a giveaway as that one goes in behind Novosad for the Colts. As this one goes over to Pettipas. McDonald now for the Colts. As this one goes over to Nepean territory. Over to Pettipas. Lamb, as he's looking for a play and behind the net, but doesn't get one. Shoots. That one is stopped by Brandt. And he hangs on with 4:24 left to go in that third period. Yes, how about that opportunity by Noah Bath? Yes, got Cornwall defense chasing him, and Rayom, he makes a better save. Man, that just would have been his 6th goal in the last 8 games. And yeah, he's been providing secondary scoring. And here's Bath again, going in, shoots. What a goal! As it is Mac McKee. Mac McKee drills one in behind Colton Rayom. And it is 3-2 Nepean. They will lead the game for the first time today. All right, let's take a look on that replay. What a shot by Mac McKee. And that shot just trickles into the net. He went to the 5-hole, and McKee was able to beat Rayom. Yes, it is 3-2 Nepean. As this one goes over to Lausanne for the Colts. What a close game this we're going to have right from the get-go. As this one goes over to make that McQuaig with the shot, and that one is turned aside by Brandt. As this one goes over to Rockwell. Over to Yates for the Raiders. Yates shoots, and that one goes wide of the net. As 3:27 left to go in this third period, the Raiders with a 3-2 lead. The game is coming right down to the wire. Yep, I knew that right from puck drop from the very first time, we were expecting to have a contest like that. Tightly contested. As icing has been waved off, as this one goes over to Stance for the Raiders. And that one goes up and out of play. So Nepean is trying to protect their lead. I guess Nepean must be having a good time. Face off as Brandt, he'll hang on. And he'll have to do it all again. So let's try again from the face-off into Brandt's left. As Cornwall wins it, Wyatt Warner with the shot. That one goes out of play. And once again, we'll have to do it again. So Adam Walker will take the face-off against Lucas LeBlanc. And Nepean will win the face-off. This one goes over to Rhodes for the Colts. Drops this back to Adam Walker. He's being watched by Owen Kingan. The shot, that one gets blocked. Going back is Fraser McDonald. Yes, and that one goes over to Walker for the Colts. That one is steered aside by Brandt. And Rayom is waiting for a signal from Mark Grady on whether he'll go to the bench for the Colts for an extra attacker. Still waiting. Yes, Rayom is going to go right now. Or maybe not. As he'll go back. As he'll do it again. Rayom is waiting for a signal from Mark Grady. And that one, so the referee will play this one dead. All right, so Rayom, he's waiting to see what he can do here. There is going to be a penalty on the play. Okay, so he'll go back to the bench. He'll go back to the net for now as everything will be all good to go. 2:08 left to go in this third period. Colts are out shooting the Raiders 32-21. So Walker will go to the box, and the Raiders will go on the power play. As this one goes over to Pettipaw for the Raiders. To Bath. All right, so it's just going to be a leaving the crease. So Rayom's going to go right now. So he's going to go to the bench for an extra attacker. So Cornwall has to kill off a leaving the goal crease penalty, I suppose. Yates, he'll go in, see if it seals the deal, and no! But the rebound just blocked by the Cornwall defense. Bath, as he's being held in by, it is McQuaig for the Colts. Nepean trying to hang on. And where's the puck, though? As the referee will blow the whistle dead. Right. So 1:13 left to go in this third period. And yes, how about that opportunity to seal the deal for the Raiders? As the Cornwall Colts defenseman Jack Kent, he was able to make that great defensive play and save a goal. So 1:05 left to go on Nepean's power play. As this one goes over to Conabel to Cantrell. So Rayom is back on for the Colts. Again, he'll wait for a signal. Yes, and he'll go back to the bench for an extra attacker. And Nepean's looking to put the icing on the cake. Can they do it? As high passes low zone, and Brandt, he'll cover up. And he'll hang on with 47 seconds left to go in this third period. And Kotste Brandt, he's made 31 of the 33 saves he's made. All right, Right, so you've heard from PA announcer Sean Lloyd. So Paul Flindle, he's going to rally his troops and see what he can do to put the icing on the cake. Right, so Nepean's all good to go. Yeah, Cornwall has called a timeout and see if they can try to get that equalizer. Well, only time will tell if they can. As the Raiders and the Colts will tap their sticks to make some noise. As the Raiders will win the face-off, and that goes to Yates. He'll drop this one to Bath. What a move by Noah Bath! And he seals the deal. Okay, and it is Julian Camp. He's able to seal the deal for the Raiders. Yes, how about that? This one goes over to Camp, and that fools the Cornwall defense, and Camp, he's able to seal the deal for the Raiders. So the Raiders, they're going to play the role of spoiler. All right, so the Nepean Raiders will get back. Shoots. Save was made by Brandt off of Warner. All right, so 20 seconds left to go into the game. Offside's been waved off. What a move! It was Karsten Barbeau, and Rayomi was able to make that save. 5 seconds left, and it is all over. Well, and we did receive a bit of a push or two from the Colts, but still, nevertheless, the Nepean Raiders, they play the role of spoiler here today as the Nepean Raiders beat the Cornwall Colts 4-2. Yes, and that's exactly what it is that they need moving forward. Cat State Brant with his 8th win on the season on Do It For Daron Day, as the Raiders will tap their sticks into the ice to make some noise. They'll salute the crowd, and that was a great way to cap things off. They'll send their hometown fans happy after this game. All right, so, you know, it was a close game throughout, you know, but in the end, it was the Nepean Raiders that came away with the win, and more importantly, it was the 2 points that they needed. Yes, as they win their first game in the month of February, so they're 1-3-1-1 on the month. So yep, 4-2 is your official final. Let's take a look back at what just happened. It was an even Steven game throughout. Yes, as the Colts and the Raiders, they were tied after the first 40 minutes of play. But for the Raiders, it was Mac McKee and Julian Kemp. They were able to close this game off, and they sealed the deal for the Nepean Raiders. But before that, Adam Walker opened things up for the Cornwall Colts, and also Jackson Legault, he was able to tie things up at 1 apiece. And then Lyndon Lamb, he was able to help Cornwall regain their lead at 2-1. But it was Knoble who was able to tie things up at 2. But in the end, as stated before, Mac McKee and Julian Kemp were able to seal the deal for the Nepean Raiders. Okay, let's take a look at what our 3 stars look like today. Okay, so for the 3rd star for the Cornwall Colts, Colton Rayon with 29 of the 32 shots he faced is the 3rd star. And having stopped 29 of the 31 shots he faced is Cat State Brant. He's the 2nd star of the game. And of course, who we have here? Mac McKee. He scored the game-winning goal, is the 1st star of the game for the Nepean Raiders. Yes, that was a solid defensive performance in front of goaltender Cat State Brant. Oh, okay, Nepean's next game will take place on Friday, February 27th at the Smiths Falls Memorial Center as the Raiders face the Smiths Falls Bears for the final time this season. Rick Green will have the call for that game on Flow Hockey, and our next In Your Seat.tv broadcast will take place on Sunday, March 15th. The final score in this game is the Nepean Raiders 4 and the Cornwall Colts 2. On behalf of our amazing In Your Seat.tv crew, this is Romano Di Franco here, and thanks for joining us this afternoon, and have a great rest of the day.